Am I going to be able to do it? I am actually doing this to myself. This is enough. This is enough, guys. This is enough. So, I like to be an overachiever when it comes to readathons and try and complete all the prompts, guys. That's what I do. Hi and welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Lorena. So, guys, this is going to be a very chaotic October TBR. I think I have about 14 or 15 books on my TBR, and that's because I'm doing 4 readathons and other stuff. And yes, am I gonna be able to do it? Let's see. Yes, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I want to take part in all of these. Also, again, I have my pumpkin mug. So yes, I am going to be taking part in Spoopathon, which has been hosted by Spoopy Hall, and then she has 5 co-hosts. I'm going to be doing a Stabathon, which is being hosted by Readathon Reads, Burrows and Books, and Noemi's Library, Magical Hop-A-Thon, which has been hosted by Rachel Cheris. And then I'm also going to be doing Camp Weekend Ween, which is the very last weekend of October, and that's been hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte. I'm not going to include my TBR for that in this because I do have an idea of what I'm going to read for the prompts, but I need to see how the other readathons go and what I'm going to be reading. I might switch things around, so I'm going to do a separate video for that much closer to the time, because it's, like I said, it's the end of October, so it's like a month away, and do some recommendations and things like that. So that's not going to be in this video. It's still going to be chaotic, and yes, I am actually doing this to myself. I'm not doing the jar this month because I can't leave this up to fate. Otherwise I'll probably end up with like 20 books on my TBR, and we don't want that. This is enough. This is enough, guys. This is enough. So what I'm going to do is I am crossing some of them over to make things a little bit easier for me, but I do have, each readathon has at least 1 book that I'm reading for something else. So yeah, what I'll do is I'm going to do it by readathon. So I'm going to do Spoopathon, then Magical Hop-A-Thon, then Stabathon, and yes, I'll put like the little, I'll link them down below so you can jump around if you want to go to a specific one to see a specific TBR for that one. There's going to be a lot of talking on this, but what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start with the ones that aren't linked to readathon, so other ones that I'm reading for other things, because yeah, that's the way I am. Kiara Foster and Mary Among Stories announced doing a read-along, a buddy read for Stephen King's It. Now they're doing it across September and October. I was thinking of reading this in October anyway, so I haven't started it in September. I'm going to start it in October, hopefully. I know it's a really chunky book considering the amount of books that are on this TBR. This is chunky, but I'm going to use the audiobook as well. So yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to this. I think I'm going to do a vlog specifically for this. Let's see. For the other, for October, I didn't mention this yet. For October, my plan is to do weekly vlogs because the readathons are all crossing over. It'll be too difficult to do like a reading vlog for each readathon, because the books are crossing over, etc. So I'm going to start on the 1st of October, which is actually a Friday to Thursday, and that's how we're going to go. And then Camp Weekend Ween will have its own one, and I want to do a separate one for this as well. Let's see how it goes. I know I have so many plans, but we're gonna have to see how this goes. So yes, I'm gonna be reading Stephen King's It. Chunky book, but I'm gonna do it, hopefully. So yeah, let me know if you're doing that as well and taking part. I also have been taking part in Chloe Reads Books Crime Scene Corner book club. Why did I forget? Oh, book club. So yes, I'm going to be taking part in that as well. That's on my TBR. And this month's pick is a non-fiction, and it is The Devil in the White City, and it's by Eric Larson. I also recently realised that it's on the Rory Gilmore list, so that's going to help me take that off. I am doing much better at that. I can get to 20 by the end of the year, guys. I can do it. And so yes, it's a non-fiction, and it's following the events around the 1893 Chicago's World Fair. So it's following Daniel H. Barnum, the architect responsible for the fair's construction, and H.H. Holmes, a serial killer masquerading as a charming doctor. That's kind of all I know. I don't know too much about it, and I think it's going to be a really interesting read. And yeah, it's a great pick for October. I think it's going to work really well. Sorry, I have my laptop here because I have so many readathons that I need to have all the books in front of me. So yes, those, yeah. Oh, one other. So I've also been doing Austen Along, which has been hosted by Kiara Foster, and October's pick is Mansfield Park. I don't own a copy of this yet. This is one of the books on this list that I would like to read in October, but it's not going to be my priority. It's not any of the classics I want to read in 2021. So yeah, it's not a priority, but if I have time, I would like to read it. So probably not going to read it. Depends how my TBR goes, guys. Depends how it goes. So yeah, now I'm going to get into each of the readathons and take you through what I am going to be reading. Okay, so first of all, Spoopathon, which like I said is being hosted by Spooky Hall. And yes, I have decided to join Team Spectral Shenanigans, and that's been hosted by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. It's Team Green is our colour. So that means with this team, it means I can jump across spaces multiple times, because there was an update following from the video on the Discord. She changed slightly of how this would work, what the power was of the team. So the aim of this one is to work your way down and escape the haunted house. My plan is, I know you can do multiple escapes, and the second time the doors and ghosts disappear, but my plan, because I'm doing lots of readathons, my plan is only to escape the haunted house once. I mean, maybe I do it twice because other books from other readathons fit. Let's see. But yes, this is a month-long run from the whole of October. So yes, I have time. I have time to get through these books. I am using, in general across my October TBR, I am using a lot of stuff from Scribd library, and also stuff from my shelves. But yes, I've really making use of Scribd this month. Really making good use of it. So I'm going to start, my path is going to start with black cover, and I've chosen Caroline for this one. It's also been recommended to me, so I'm going to get bonus points for that one as well. So it is a middle grade. Now, I've never watched the film. I'm going to see if I can actually, if it's somewhere like Amazon Prime or Netflix, and see if I can actually watch it. Okay, so Caroline is by Neil Gaiman. Like I said, black on the cover, which is great. So quick premise is they move into a new house. Our main character is Caroline. She's the girl of the family. So she knows that there are 21 windows and 14 doors. 13 of the doors open and close. The 14th door is locked, and on the other side is only a brick wall until the day Caroline unlocks the door to find a passage to another flat in another house, just like her own. Things seem wonderful and great to begin with, but there is another mother and father there, and they want Caroline to stay with them and be their little girl. They want to change her and never let her go. So that's a premise. I believe, let me just quickly check, it's only about 4 hours, the audiobook, which I'm listening to from Scribd, so I should be able to get through that quite quickly. So yeah, it's like a middle grade kind of horror, dark fantasy book, so that should be really good. Then we go down to a translated book, and I have chosen The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. I have this as an ebook. It was on an Amazon deal and I got it. It's by Mariana Enriquez. Last October I read her other collection of short horror stories, Things We Lost in the Fire. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this collection of short stories. It is around 200-ish pages, I want to say, and it's a spooky book for the bonus prompt on this readathon. So again, extra points I'm getting here, extra points. And this one is her first collection of horror stories, but it's the second one that was translated to English, because Things We Lost in the Fire is actually written afterwards. So I'm not expecting this to be quite as good as Things We Lost in the Fire, because it's like the first one she wrote, but I might be pleasantly surprised. But yes, it's not too long. I think it's around 200 pages. That's what the first one, Things We Lost in the Fire, was. It's translated from Spanish into English. It's set in Argentina, post-dictatorship. Like, she brings lots of things into it, and just, yeah, incredible writing. So I will defeat the ghost then, because I will have more than 75 points at this point. Now this is where my team's superpower is gonna come in place, because 500 plus pages book, don't want to read. I am obviously reading it, but like I said, that is separate. I'm not having any of these TBRs for these readathons, so I'm skipping that, skipping new genre and going straight to non-fiction, and I'm going to read The Devil in the White City, which is a buddy read, so I also get additional bonus points. Excellent. Then it's Trick or Treat. So for this, you had to do like a poll, ask someone. They don't know if it's which book is trick and which one's treat. So for my treat book, I chose Stephen King's Cujo. It's my treat book because, well, I want to read it, obviously. It is on the Rory Gilmore reading list. And yes, it's one that we wanted to get to. It would be really helpful to get this ticked off. So yes, that's my treat. Also, there's green on the cover, which is the team colour, which would give me a bonus point. So my trick book is Southern Magic Sweet Tea Witches #1, and it's by Amy Boyles. Now this is going to be, it's an audiobook on Scribd. You know, making use of that Scribd, like I said, making use of it. It's an audiobook on Scribd. I can't remember how long it is, but I think it's about 5 to 6 hours. The reason why this is my trick is because in September I read, this is a cozy mystery, but it's like a witchy paranormal cozy mystery. So I've been enjoying cozy mysteries, and now in September I did listen to an audiobook of one. I'm not going to go into the details of that one because that will be my wrap up, but put it this way, it didn't go well, and I don't know if it's that particular book by that author or if I just don't get on with it. So honestly, I'm not like, I know I'll need to read another one to see if it is the genre or if it's that particular author, etc., if it's something for me. So it's not one that I'm like dying to read, you know. I've chosen it by a different author just in case it was that author that I just don't get on, if it's that series, you know. So yeah, I'm not overly keen. I have been keeping an eye on it, and I'm going to tell you, it wasn't going in my favour. So let's actually go into the Discord. That's where I posted it, because there's a section in there. So I knew I'd get a lot of votes because everyone obviously has been doing it. I've been voting on other people's trick or treat on the ones that I know. So let's just let's go and find mine. And as soon as I do this, I'll post and let everyone know which ones they chose. It's probably going to be my trick, isn't it? Where am I? There's been a lot over the last few days. Okay. I'm going to be reading my trick, guys. I don't know if you can see that. So we have 35 for my trick book, and we'll have 20 for Cujo. Not going to lie, I thought because it was Stephen King, I would get more votes for that one. But yes, so 35 versus 20, like not even close. So I'm going to be reading my trick book. However, on the cover, she has a green top, and there's like mint leaves in the glass, and the background behind the glass, it looks green as well. So that's also going to give me those bonus points. So at least I get that. And it's an audiobook, so I can, you know, listen to it while I'm cooking, cleaning, etc., doing like other tasks. What can I do, guys? What can I do? Then that would take me down to read it after dark, which is the last prompt. Now on this one, it's a little bit of a question mark for me. I think I might do Mouthful of Birds, and it's because it's going to link with my Magical Hop-A-Thon one for another prompt, because there's, yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come up to that in a moment, but I'm thinking double them up, so I'll read it after dark. So that is, it's not too bad in October. It's been getting dark between like 7 and 8 o'clock recently. So this is like the bottom of this, so it's going to be a couple weeks into it. So yeah, I should be able to read it around about 7 or so, which is great. So I've chosen Mouthful of Birds by Samantha Schweblin. Now I haven't read any other of her books. She wrote The Little Eyes, which I've seen people speak about, but this is translated from Spanish, so it's also a translated book. And yes, it's a collection, a story collection, unsettling story collection. So yeah, another short story translated, and yes, it's creepy, you know, creepy vibes, you know, it's horror, there's some magical realism apparently in this, and yeah, that's why I chose it. I think it'll be a great collection, hopefully, and I should enjoy it. I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it. So that is my TBR for Spoopathon. Now let's get on to Magical Hop-A-Thon, which is also a month-long one, and it's been hosted by Rachel Cheris. So this is a Disney themed readathon because the Disneyland park is turning 50, which is why it's in October. It coincided with that. But the prompts are very kind of open, that I've managed to fit in spooky books for it, which is great. So again, like Spoopathon, you have a chance to go through multiple parks on this. So I'm going to start off with Magical Kingdom. I do have kind of plans for Epcot, but that's a nice to do basically afterwards if I have time, and I don't know if I will because this TBR is huge. So that'll be a nice to do. So yes, it's kicking off Magical Kingdom. So I need to read a book for the park entrance, and the book that I've chosen, the prompt is read a fantasy / magical realism book, and I chose Caroline crossover with Spoopathon, which is great because they started they both started at the same time. So the first one we're matching off because Caroline, I saw it was also like a kind of a dark fantasy. So boom, we have one crossover. Then we have attractions. Now you can't buddy up anything on the attractions prompt or the park entrance ticket within this readathon. So I've chosen for the attraction Haunted Mansion, which is read a spooky book. So I've chosen the Final Girl support group, which is by Grady Hendrix. I read my first Grady Hendrix in September and I really enjoyed it, and I want to read some others. My face is looking so shiny, guys. I don't know why. Why am I shiny? So yes, by Grady Hendrix. Now the ebook is on the library and the audiobook is on Scribd. I think that's the way. So I can combine both, or I can just have access to one. It's about 350 pages, so it's not overly long. It's like a kind of standard one. It's a horror book, and it's a slasher, some thriller mystery elements in there. So in this one, it is, you know, in horror movies, there's always like the final girl, the last one left standing when the credits roll. She fought back, she defeated the killer, etc, etc, etc. So this book is, well, it's a support group for final girls with their, I think they're therapists or something. So there's several final girls that have gotten together to speak about their experiences because no one else has experienced the final girl experience. So yeah, so they survive these different things. They meet like weekly or something, but then one day one of the women goes missing from the group, and they realise that someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. So these final girls, at least they have each other now, you know, they're not on their own anymore. And yes, they're never gonna give up. It's some sort of like fight against whatever this is. Somebody's after them. Sounds really good. And yes, I really enjoyed Horror Story by Grady Hendrix, so I'm really looking forward to reading another of his books, which would be really great. Then, like I said, you're not allowed to double up apart from the snack and shows prompts, because you can have a snack while watching a show, but you can't watch a show and be on a ride at the same time, which is what Rachel Cheris explained when she did our video for this. So I have doubled up on my snack and shows prompt for this park, and for snacks I've chosen corn dog nuggets, and that is read a short book which is less than 200 pages. And then for the show I chose Festival of Fantasy, read any book but start after 3 p.m. You know where this is going. It's going to be A Mouthful of Birds, which is why I said for the other one, I should be able to coincide these together, I'm hoping. So yes, it's not bad. So this one has one book that isn't on the other TBR. That's what I said, at least one on each one. So then, if time allows, in the month, I might then go to Epcot. Now, I don't have to do an entrance ticket because I've already done it, so we're already one prop down. For the attraction, I have chosen Frozen, and that would be Hyped Book. So what I chose for that is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I've only read one Riley Sager so far, and that's Home Before Dark, and I read that in summer and really enjoyed it. I find that Riley Sager's books are always really hyped, and Lock Every Door is one of the ones that I always hear people talking about. I know he has written quite a few others, but people don't always speak about them. But this is one that you hear people recommending, so it is hyped up in terms of the thriller genre. He's a hyped author, so I chose this one. This is like thriller, horror, mystery again. So in this one, there is our main character, Jules. So she gets a new job as an apartment sitter, and it's in this famous building, and it's really high profile and like, you know, mysterious. So she takes this job because it's well paid and she really doesn't have to do much. She just has to have, she's not allowed any visitors, and she can't spend any nights away from the apartment while she is apartment sitting. And yeah, she starts to get to know the residents and the staff as well of this building, and she finds herself drawn to another apartment sitter, Ingrid, who reminds her of the sister that she lost 8 years ago. And then Ingrid confides in Jules that in the apartment building is not what it seems, and there's some dark history hidden beneath its facade, and it's starting to frighten her. Jules brushes it off as a harmless ghost story until the next day when Ingrid disappears. So she has to search for the truth about the disappearance, etc. So it's like mystery, what's going on in this building. So it's a bit of like a locked door mystery. Mystery kind of, yeah. It's the vibe that I'm getting from it. It's hyped. I think it'll be really, really good. Oh, I'm getting thirsty, guys. Getting thirsty. I need to hydrate. Then for the snack and show, again, I'm going to double up. So for the snack, I chose World Showcase, and it's a book that is either, from this list, either set in this country, an author who has origins from that country, or is translated from the language of that country. So there's Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, America, Japan, Morocco, France, UK and Canada. Then before I say the book, for the show, I chose Turtle Talk with Crush, and it's read a middle grade or listen to an audiobook. So I have chosen Bird Box. I'm going to get the audiobook from Scribd. By the way, guys, I always have a link down below if you want to sign up and get 2 months for free. I'm really using it this month. It's really great. I would get a month free. So yeah, if you ever want to check it out, also in the description link. But yes, I chose Bird Box. It's set in America and it's written by an American author. I saw the Netflix adaptation quite a few years ago. I enjoyed it. It was really like creepy because it's like this like kind of thriller, horror, psychological book, a film. I really enjoyed it, so I'd be really interested to listen to the audiobook. I mean, I know what happens, but I don't know if they changed the ending or anything in it. But I think it'll be really interesting to actually read it. So it's written by Joss Malerman. So yeah, there's something out there. There's something terrifying that must not be seen. One glimpse and a person is driven to a deadly violence, and no one knows what it is or where it comes from. So they're going about their lives, and then this thing comes, and yeah, basically you can't go outside, you can't look at things. So this book starts like 5 years, the main plot of this book starts like 5 years after it began, and there's just like a handful of scattered survivors that remains, and that includes Mallory and her 2 young children. And they live in an abandoned house near the river. So she's dreamed of fleeing to a place where they might be safe. Now the girl and boy are 4, it's time to go, but the journey ahead will be terrifying. There's 20 miles downriver in a rowboat, blindfolded because they can't see this thing, and nothing to rely on but her wits and the children's trained ears. One wrong choice and they will die. Something is following them all the while, but is it a man, is it an animal, or is it a monster? So in the film, yeah, it was definitely it was creepy, like definitely creepy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I hope I have time to do the second park, but if not, then you know, I will get to them eventually on my never-ending TBR. So yes, that is the Magical Hop-A-Thon. I am not planning to do any other parks because, guys, this TBR is out of hand. It's out of hand as it is, so we can't do that. We cannot do that. Okay, let's move on because this video is going to be long. This video is going to be long. So finally, I'm going to speak about my Stabathon TBR. Like I said, it's being hosted by Sav from Riveting Reads, Camilla from Burrows and Books, and then Noemi's Library. It is run a week-long one, so I have less time to read the books for this one. So it's run from the 4th of October to the 10th of October. So yes, I'll start the other two first, and then I'll have this one between. This is why I'm doing like the reading vlogs, they all cross. I'm just going to do weekly reading vlogs for all of them. So they have a bingo board on this one. And yeah, you need to complete a bingo. You can try and complete all of them if you want. So yeah, there's a free space in the middle, so you don't have to do anything, which is great to try and like use it. We'll see. I have several books lined up for this one. I could potentially do them all. It just depends on timings, etc. I like to be an overachiever when it comes to readathons and try and complete all the prompts, guys. That's what I do. But do I always manage it? No. But you will have to see my reading vlogs to find out. So on this one, first of all, I'm going to quickly cover off the two non-reading prompts. One is Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll have the graphic up here. So Nightmare on Elm Street, and that is post the Halloween costume pick, so it could be a throwback or it could be like a current costume, so that's easy enough. I already have throwback pictures. I don't know if I will dress up at all, but we'll see. So that's really easy, just post it on like my social media. Easy, tick. There's also one that sorry, I forgot to mention, each of these prompts are linked to like their favorite horror films. So Scream is watch your favourite horror film. Now, I don't have anything written down for this one. I'm not a horror film watcher. I only started reading horror books last year. So yeah, I get a little bit creeped out by the films. I'm not a big horror fan of the films, but I might watch some. If I'm going to do this one, it's just me watching horror film is what's going to be. It's not my favourite one because I haven't seen enough to have a favourite one. So yeah, that's it. If you have any recommendations, write down below. I'd love to see that. So let's just start up at the corner. So Chucky, Child's Play, read a book involving children and or dolls. So for this prompt, I have chosen Goosebumps Welcome to the Dead House, which is the first ever Goosebumps one. Goosebumps is like middle grade, and it was out in the 90s. I remember, I think I read one or two of the books. I can't remember how many, but the TV show as well, I remember. So I saw this on Scribd, the audiobook. You know, I was like, throwback, this should be really fun. And this is the point of these readathons. I really want to have fun with them. So it's written by R.L. Stein. Like I said, it's an audiobook. I think it's around about 3 hours. It's horror middle grade, you know. So it covers off, there's children main characters, and yes, there's no dolls in this one, but there's children in it. So in this one, Amanda and Josh think the old house they have just moved into is weird, spooky, possibly haunted, and the town of Dark Falls is pretty strange too, but their parents don't believe them. You'll get used to it, they say. Go out and make some new friends. So Amanda and Josh do, but these creepy new friends are not exactly what their parents had in mind, because they want to be friends forever. So yeah, it's gonna be creepy. I think it'll be good vibes. It'll be good vibes. It'll be a good fun one. Again, it's an audiobook, so I can listen to it whilst doing other things. Then I'm going to jump over to Halloween, and that is read a book with a black or orange cover. I'm not crossing over with Caroline on this one. I'm going to be choosing Blanky, and that's by Keelan Patrick Burke. I read Sour Candy back in summer and I really enjoyed it. So this is another horror novella. So it's only about 70 pages, I want to say. Again, on Scribd. Scribd is saving me on this TBR this month, guys. Scribd should probably sponsor me. Love Scribd. So in this one, in the wake of his infant daughter's tragic death, Steve is struggling to keep himself together, estranged from his wife, who refuses to be inside the house where the unthinkable happened, and unable to work, he seeks solace in an endless parade of old sitcoms and a bottle of bourbon, until one night he hears a sound from his daughter's old room, a room now stripped bare of anything that identified it as hers, except for her security blanket, affectionately known as Blanky. Blanky, old and frayed, with its antiquated paint patchwork of badly sewn rabbits with black button eyes who appear to be staring at the viewer. Blanky purchased from a strange old man an antique stall selling baby clothes, like spelled as in like clothes, a door, at a discount. The presence of Blanky in his dead daughter's room heralds nothing short of an unspeakable nightmare that threatens to take away what little light remains in Steve's shattered world. Because his daughter loved Blanky so much, he buried her with it. So Blanky shouldn't be in the room, guys. So yes, horror, short novella, thriller. I don't know, there might be paranormal vibes in this as well, which means potentially I could use it for Carrie, read a book with supernatural vibes, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll find out when I read it. But speaking of that prompt, I would potentially read Horrid. Now I have this as a question mark because it is an audiobook that's on Scribd, and it's a young adult. However, I saw in some reviews saying that the last like 50 pages of the book isn't on the audiobook, and then somebody said they contacted Scribd and then they managed to get the whole thing, but I don't know how long it's going to take, so I don't know. I don't know if they fixed that issue now, or because I've not seen any recent reviews, so it's a bit but Horrid, it's following our main character following her father's death, and her mum. They move from California to Maine into like this old dilapidated house, and they just want a fresh start, but behind the doors lurks a history that leaves them feeling more alone and more tormented. As the autumn arrives, which would be kind of perfect for October, you know, vibes, Jane settles into her new home. She finds solace in old books and memories of her dad, and she steadily begins making new friends, but also faces bully from the residents' bad seed. So Jane then discovers a strange room in the house, and her mum is kept locked, and it isn't for storage. It's a little girl's bedroom, left untouched for years and not quite as empty of inhabitants as it appears. So it is the mum's childhood home, I believe. So yeah, that's what I said. It's marked as having kind of paranormal vibes on Goodreads. So we could potentially read that one, but it's the whole, I'm not sure about the audiobook. I'm not going to have the ending because that would be really annoying. So we'll need to see. And also it depends on time. So that will be like the last one I go for. Then Friday, I'm not doing this in a great order, but Friday the 13th, read a book set during summer, and I have chosen Night of the Mannequins, and it's by Stephen Graham Jones. I read The Only Good Indians and really enjoyed it. I believe this, again, Scribd audiobook is around 2 to 3 hours, so a nice short quick one. And yeah, it's a contemporary horror story, I believe, and it's a teen prank that goes very wrong. And I did read in I read on the synopsis it takes place like the end of summer, like it's this prank they want to do at the end of summer by taking like a mannequin into like a cinema or something, but something goes wrong, and I think like it comes alive or something. It sounds creepy, it sounds really good, and yes, short, quick, like we want that. Also for that one, I can use it for Get Out, read a book by a BIPOC author, as Stephen Graham Jones is an Indigenous author, so I can cover off both of those prompts, which is great. And the last one is Psycho, and that's read a slasher, and I've put down to read The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, which is great because it's gonna cross over with my magical Hop-A-Thon, so I can't start that one until the 4th of October at least. So yes, that's it. That's all my Stabathon one. That is all the books, apart from my camp weekend ween TBR, which will be coming out in October, closer to the time. And so many books, guys, so many books. Let me know which readathons you're taking part, if you're taking part in any of these. Do you have an as crazy TBR as I do? Am I the only one? Are there other people out there with chaotic TBRs? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. And hopefully I I can get through this and I don't want to like quit reading forever. So yeah, thanks. Bye.